I'm going to step aside and bring to this rostrum our keynote speaker today. He is our Delaware Valley Student Regional Minister. He was in Wilmington yesterday. Yes, Wilmington, Delaware, and they are on a call out. I said it last week that he's not the kind of minister that's going to hide and say, well, no, y'all come back and give me a report. No, he's going to get it firsthand. So he was out there with the brothers yesterday, along with our student regional captain and Muhammad. They did a wonderful work. They're back, and I know the reports are going to be all over our nation very soon. So, dear family, thank you again for the time you've allowed me. Let's bring to this rostrum our Delaware Valley Student Regional Minister, Rodney Muhammad, with a well-deserved round of applause. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. How are we doing? In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the one God, to whom praise is due, the Lord of the worlds, we thank Almighty God, the revealer of all truth, the sender of all prophets. We thank him for Moses and the Torah, for Jesus and the gospel, and we thank him for Muhammad and the revelation of the Holy Quran. And as students of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad's life-giving message, we're most thankful to Allah for his own intervention in our affairs, as it was prophesied and predicted he would do in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. We are so thankful for his coming, and it's hard to be thankful in the fullest sense of the word, because you got to grow into who he is and what he's doing. And the greater is our own realization, the greater is our gratitude. So we thank Allah for Master Farad Muhammad and his coming. We should not think so little of ourselves to think that he's not using us to bring about his purposes. There's, whether we believe it or not, there's a great wheel in the sky, and because of that wheel, I know they have automated airline flights now that they say the plane flies itself. These planes have pilots. These planes have people on the lookout for them with no good in mind. So when somebody's on the lookout for you and they try to catch up with you, they want to bring you harm. So you can't just be on an automated kind of flight. You got to be walking that post in a perfect manner. You better be on the alert. And when they come in contact with it, it's able to move out so fast. It's already aware of their, coming to approach it. Well, this one we say appeared in North America, Master Farad Muhammad. He is behind the power and the wisdom of this great wheel. So we read about him in English lesson C number 1. He gave us his name. My name is W.F. Muhammad, and I came by myself. Right. So what I know, what I teach, nobody's willing to listen to it or else they would have came with me. So if people are manning these vessels, then those people didn't come from the east. If people are manning these vessels, they had to come from us. Now, the Caucasian bears witness that they're there, and they're entertaining theories of aliens. But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has made it clear they're being manned by the original people. That's right. Who is the original man, not who was? If we were dealing with who was, then who was may be manning those ships, but who is present state means that the first original man, as Brother Ishmael made clear, is the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's the one that's made now. So if he's the first of them, then somebody else had to be picked up, taught and trained, man these vessels. They came from us. Master Fard Muhammad intends to make this universal government out of us. So we're thankful that he starts off, because he doesn't need anybody to teach him. He didn't come over here looking for a teacher. He's looking for good students. Right. So he's got to make sure that when he makes a teacher for us, the first thing he sees, is he a good student for him? Well, he found one that was a good student for him. In fact, he became a 100% convert, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so that's his wise choice for us as a messenger. I've looked at the condition, I don't know if you had, of every people throughout history that have received a prophet and or messenger. And none of them have a condition as wretched as ours. They even numbered fewer than 40 to 50 million people. The one thing that they had in common, that we have in common with them, that qualified them to receive a prophet or have a messenger, is that we were out of order with God. That's right. Because the presence of a prophet and a messenger is not a celebration that our relationship to our God is going good. It is a clear sign to us that we are out of order with God. And the purpose of God sending and or raising a teacher is to raise our consciousness and bring us back to the will of God. And God doesn't do that out of a law. The law that he has working in his nature, he made mercy to prevail all his attributes. So this is an act of mercy that we're holding these meetings. Out of that attribute, these meetings are, people can say we hate white people, but if we hated white people, we would never let them in on the destruction that's coming to their land. So the greatest sign for white people to pay attention is not to beat on their door to try to get them to change. When they see you change, they'll start paying attention. But as long as you act like a Negro, grubbling at their door, imitating them, and allowing them to be the pattern for your and my life, they don't have no reason to pay attention to us. And we can cry all we want about health care and food and everything, but just like God gave them a way to feed themselves, clothe themselves, house themselves, and teach their own children, we got the same power with us. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad proved that he's a good student because he's a master teacher. And the efficacy of his wisdom, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, has been proven. And the greatest proof that we have is his student, servant, and apostle, a Messiah to us today in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's the greatest proof. People, as I heard Brother Joseph talking about, have wanted him dead. But they dying before he does. And all of those white and black that have wanted him dead, they're dying, but Farrakhan is still here. Yeah. So we should at least be asking ourselves, does this whole report from what they call the camp of Louis Farrakhan, does this deserve some investigation? You can't force belief. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad made this clear. You can only make a presentation. Belief is up to us. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was clear on that. That's why he said, take it or let it alone. We've been on the series and we finished it today because we could talk about prophecy until everything falls apart. But we want to share points that provoke us to go back and look at whatever we thought we understood, provoke us, if we're not studying anything, to start reading. You have many of us in Islam today, which is beautiful, but we're only rushing toward prayer. But the first command was to read. Before Prophet Muhammad was shown the prayer, he was, read. That's the command for anybody that's going to have a healthy relationship with God. You can't do it ignorant. Well, I just, feel the Spirit. This is our problem now. Trying to live life on feelings. How you going to feel tomorrow? It's good you feel good today, but what about tomorrow? God gave us an intellect. How's it ever going to grow if we don't read? So reading was the first command, and the first command for us in America, they set up a law. It's against the law for you to read. Yet you'll look at them with that law talking about we all God's children. How the hell are we all God's children? And God commands you to read and a man got a law. Making you a criminal if you pick up a book, but you all right if you got a gun. So we're dealing in times that were predicted. That's what we want to get to. And so we covered some more on Wednesday night, praise be to Allah, and that, but you know, how prophecy starts, you know, you'll see sections in the Quran that nature is made to bear witness to revelation. So we showed that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that, you know, highly educated, trained individuals learn how to read the creation. And through reading the creation can ascertain the will of God. But he said, in our condition, certainly we're far from being able to read the creation. Because an enemy has had us, and we have not learned the way of God. We have peace marches in our community, but we don't want to accept the way of peace. Some will call us, the Muslims, troublemakers, but we don't even carry guns. And you got a gun, and people are dying in Philadelphia as a result of gun violence. It can't be us. We don't carry them. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, you know, the black man is saying out of his mouth he wants peace, but he don't want the way of peace. You can't have peace without justice. And you cannot have justice without truth. And if the truth preached by Farrakhan is an offense to you, then you don't want the way of peace. He proved to the world we could be peaceful. Nearly 2 million black men paid their way to Washington, D.C. He didn't pay it. Nobody sponsored us. We paid our way. We wanted to do it. And we were there, and we wanted it to work. And it can work. But it won't work if we're only dealing with the wisdom of men. It's the wisdom of God that we need to make this work. Well, you know, Farrakhan, we should have been, you know, all that social capital, we should have gotten something for it. See, we don't feel like we get nothing unless the white man is giving it to us. But we didn't go to Washington to ask the white man for nothing. We went to bear ourselves before the threshold of the high and the mighty, bearing our souls to him to atone for any and all faults and shortcomings, so we could get about our Lord's business. So the minister says some of us don't care to even read the creation. But these high-wise scientists are able to read the creation. The Quran bears witness. Nature upholds unity. The Quran bears witness that nature is made to give witness to revelation. Right. So it shows the revelation of God is connected with the grass and the trees and the waters and the mountains and everything. We're made up out of the earth. We're made out of its water, its stone, its soil. The only thing in us that didn't come from the earth is the essence of God. That came directly from him. So when we're buried, everything that came from the earth go back to the earth. But you can't take the essence of God back to the earth. So at the janazah, it's not there. And our enemies have taught us such a deep level of disrespect. We look at a company and we say, ain't no blacks on the board. Let's get some black people in there. We look at government, we ain't got no black people on city council. Let's get some black people in city council. Let's get some black people on the team. Let's get some black people owning the team. You know, let's get blacks here. We want black, black, black everywhere. But when it comes to a messenger, you don't want a black man. You'll go back thousands of years looking for someone that you think is white. Because you feel like having a black man as a messenger makes you a racist. This is a trick that Yaqub's children use. The minister has a close companion in Chicago who's been with him in every fight. And he's Caucasian. And he's Catholic. And this enrages us on both sides. We had someone, they saw Father Flager at Mosque Mariam, so they tried to take the whole mosque with them from Farrakhan. Yeah. Well, they shouldn't have tried to do that. They called Philadelphia. We got that mosque back.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Come on.
By any means necessary.
Yes, sir.
We got that mosque back and all those believers back with Farrakhan. My regional minister didn't play. Nobody taking nothing from this region. We got people now trying to take some of you away. You can walk away, but they ain't coming to take nothing.
That's right. Teach. Teach.
We'll just turn into something else.
Say that. Say that.
Less merciful, less kind. Huh? The people that was with Prophet Muhammad was, you know, they were sweet and kind with the revelation and everything, but you came against him and what they were trying to build, they turned into something else.
Yes, sir.
Before the battle, the Quraysh sent some spies out to see what was out there. When the brothers got in ranks and got on the camels, he said, man, he said, how many men are out there riding? He said, I didn't see men, I saw death.
Come on now. Go ahead.
So these men are ready to die for Islam, so if they're ready to die for it, they sure ready to take you out.
Go ahead. Real talk.
That's fierce. They should be afraid.
That's right.
Come against the righteous. Just because we called sheep don't mean we won't bite.
Go ahead, Mama. Good teaching.
I didn't come in this to get along with everybody.
Go ahead.
I'm not trying to be buddies with everybody. You don't like us, we don't like you.
Go ahead.
If you're going to try to do harm to us.
That's right.
But we want the truth for everybody.
Yes, sir.
These high-wise scientists can read this planet. And when the Greeks put the imaginary lines on the earth so that you could follow degrees of longitude and latitude, when you get the math down, you can pinpoint just where trouble is on the planet. You know, military people, they can pinpoint where they want to strike. When they go in space, they can pinpoint where they want to land, give or take so many thousand miles. But they do it with these imaginary lines, longitude and latitude. So these high-wise scientists study the thinking of the people. When you study the thinking of people, you can follow the longitude and the latitude of their thoughts.
Go ahead.
Because that's about what we amount to, the sum total of our thoughts. So they can study the thinking of people, and they can begin in that careful examination and analysis of that thought process, they can tell what's going to come to pass.
Yes, sir.
Events, major events. And when it's time for something to be fulfilled, generally, this is the time that a prophet is raised to warn, or a messenger is raised to warn and begin to teach. And sometimes that one will be given words that they don't fully understand, and it forecasts somebody else that's coming. Which means they already understand what kind of time you're going to be in. The book of Timothy says a time is coming where children will be disobedient to parents. It just shows a whole riot. You could see the society falling apart. Right. It wasn't happening then. Right. He predicting that it's going to happen. Right. And when the children are disobedient, and that it shows you that the homes are unstable. Right. And the nation is made up of its homes and its home life. Jesus said, in that day, a man's enemies will be that of his own household. So it shows you that progressively we're degenerating. And we're trusting in somebody that's sitting over the house that don't know how to stop the degeneration. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called it a great nation unraveling. Yes, sir. Falling apart while they pointing you to enemies. You better watch out for them. You better watch out for the Republicans and everything. Hell, they falling apart right here. In front of us, don't care what they call themselves. They're not righteous. So the minister said, because we don't know this science, and it doesn't mean we didn't have the capacity to know, but not knowing this science, he said, how can we know? The scripture says, unless you send a teacher. Somebody's got to come and teach us these things, or else we won't have a level of consciousness to know something about the time and the season that we're in, and at least we got a chance to respond. Some of us just go through life and somehow you heard something and, you know, I get it. You say, well, look, I'm going to come over there, you know, to a meeting. And you heard something and you've been here since. But there's some of us, like I know myself, even as a teenager, I've always been troubled about life and what's happening to us in this thing. If you grew up in the 60s, which was a game-changing decade, no model for leadership, because all of the leaders were dying early in the 60s. They were all getting killed by the enemy. So I'm living there seeing Dr. King get killed. He's fighting housing in Chicago. So I'm right there on the south side. He's on the west side fighting, and most of the landlords were Jews. And Dr. King had called a strike. Told black folks on the west side, don't pay rent no more. They went on a rent strike, and it rose, Jewish leadership rose up and started calling him an anti-Semite. Daley didn't want him in Chicago. And they were trying to work his program that he said wouldn't work in the South called Breadbasket. And he used Chicago and New York City trying to do it. That's how Reverend Jackson got started in Chicago, and he broke off from Breadbasket later and started Operation Push. And that's how Al Sharpton started off in New York, because he was a part of the Breadbasket initiative there. And then ultimately he broke off and set up the National Action Network. Everybody had to start somewhere. When Adam Clayton Powell called a bus boycott in New York City, one of his associate ministers sitting there at Abyssinia was Leon Sullivan. And Leon Sullivan left New York and came here with the same kind of concept and ended up setting up OIC. We're going to be over there because October the 16th, the day of the Million Man March, is actually Reverend Leon Sullivan's birthday. Yeah. So, you know, everything gets started, it's got a connection somewhere. And as we go through history to see how people are connected, look at our history and how we present it to the world. You want to lift up Muhammad Ali. You want to lift up Malcolm, but you don't want the Honorable Elijah Muhammad mentioned. And look, you would never have had a Malcolm X. Not like you have come to know a Malcolm X were it not for an Elijah Muhammad. And you wouldn't have had a Muhammad Ali. Both in the 60s doing things that were just unprecedented. How dare you get in white folks' face and throw our name back in our face and tell you the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has given you the name Muhammad Ali. See, you had to be there at that press conference. And it angered a lot of black people. Because we didn't know the time. Why don't we know the time? We ain't never been taught in prophecy. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said of his teacher, he said, now, he knew the time and the season for all things. So he said, this is his season.